Hello everybody, how's it going? Talk to the YouTube people now. Can you guys hear me out there? I'm not talking to you, man. This guy answered. Yeah, I'm early today. We're just gonna give a, you know what I mean? We're just gonna banter for 10 minutes, let people join. It's still not even pre-London. It's only 1:30 a.m. Eastern. Once we get a good amount of people in here, we'll jump into the meat and potatoes. We'll jump into the entree, you know? Or for you vegans, we'll jump into a nice tofu dish. All right? Yeah, I'm early tonight. But this is good, so we can jump into some opportunities faster if they present themselves. Just read for the guy who asked how many times a week do you stream, all that stuff. Just read the description, you know? It's right there in front of you. You just click show description, or I think it honestly just shows the description when you come to the YouTube video. Some of you guys be having very narrow vision. Probably look at the chart one candle at a time. I'm just kidding around. You're all very skilled individuals. Yeah, feel free to, before we jump into it, we're just going to be going through the stream introduction for those of you that are new, because I get a lot of repetitive questions. Now, questions are great. It's great to be curious, ask questions about the market, share ideas, but being unaware and a dumbass is a whole different situation, you know, when you can't read like the title, the description, the reminders on the screen, or all of that type of stuff, then that's just a whole different level. Right? So let's make sure we get through all that little nitty gritty stuff and get that out of the way now, because this whole session is being live recorded, meaning you can always rewind to any part in particular if you want to see when we were talking about gold, if you want to see when I was talking about the capital hungry resources. Just tell anybody who comes into the chat, hey, you can always rewind the stream. He was talking about GJ at the start of the webinar. He was sharing the resources at this part of the webinar. I want you guys in the YouTube chat to help me out with that so I don't have to waste as much time on nonsense. Okay, so let's jump into it with the stream reminders. Feel free to ask questions about technicals, fundamentals, and overall markets. Just don't come in spamming the chat asking for direct signals. Any questions about the capital hungry private service, just save that for after the stream. The stream, we primarily do analysis on some of the main pairs that we'd be looking at are like gold, GBPJPY, GBPUSD, Euro against the US dollar against CAD, and of course, US 30. We also look at investor behavior, economic data reports, alongside market structure and other price action confirms we look at. Okay, so we primarily want to focus our time during the stream doing analysis and providing that value. There's enough videos and information to find out what the capital hungry private service provides. For any news headlines, analysis, or stream reminders, follow the Capital Hungry Twitter feed, which is posted on the screen layout and on the stream reminders for the YouTube people right now. Also, there is the link to my personal Telegram contact and, of course, the free Telegram analysis channel. Take the time to also watch all of the previous live streams and free content that is on the Capital Hungry YouTube channel. All right. Because at the end of the day, if you really are passionate about the markets and you're trying to expand your knowledge and you don't want to spend a lot of money first or just jump into something without knowing, you have tons and tons of webinars here on different technical, fundamental concepts, market sentiment concepts, higher time frame, lower time frame, pretty much whatever you need, right? And the Capital Hungry free Telegram analysis channel, and of course the Capital Hungry Twitter feed here. What are the indicators for when smart money and institutions buy gold? Get out of my YouTube chat. I know I said you guys could ask questions, but now I don't want you guys to ask questions anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think institutions are going to share their secrets about when they're buying or selling gold. If I had those secrets, I probably wouldn't be talking to you, Mr. George Stratford. You know what I mean? So let's bring a little bit of common sense to the table. But anyways, you have the Capital Hungry Muse Twitter here. You have the Telegram free analysis channel. I'm sorry. And then you have the Capital Hungry YouTube page here as well. Yeah, you guys can spam W's if you want. It's up to you. All right. Okay. Now, before we jump into it, for both the Zoom chat and the YouTube chat, yes, we want to come to the markets here and potentially make some money, get that dopamine hit. Everybody wants to cheer in the chat and be happy together, but that's not what trading is about. All right. Trading is about putting a potential risk in the market for a potential reward on a high probability setup, waiting for your confirms on a pre-planned trade. All right. So with that comes a whole side of controlling your emotions and trading psychology, because at the end of the day, we are not robots. We are humans that have tons of different individual impacting factors to our psychology, emotions, and that is going to impact our decisions. And in the markets, especially if you're scalping or especially if you're intraday trading, those few minutes of hesitation or 5 minutes of hesitation or 10 minutes of hesitation can cost you a position or cause you to miss a trade or cause you to do some stupid shit, right? So remember to always stay smart, follow your trading plan, follow your risk management plan, focus on your long-term vision. The market can make it extremely easy to chase short-term satisfaction, which will end up leading in long-term crash in your fucking account. All right. I don't know anybody who kept chasing short-term satisfaction and found success in life, in any aspect of life. So just think about that and keep emotions out. Stay as emotionally neutral as possible. As we do our analysis and map out potential trade ideas across pairs, we are pre-planning these trade ideas, whether it is a scalp or intraday trade. We are creating a list of potential confirms we are looking for. Once we can start checking off that list of confirms and our plan starts to play out, then we execute. We don't fall off our plan. We don't start doing random shit. We don't jump into something impulsively just because it's looking cool right now, or this looks good, or a little support is being made. That's not how it works. All right, are we all on the same page? And because I know we have a few new members in the Zoom chat as well. Yeah. Zoom chat, YouTube chat, we're all on the same page. Hello, Sandra. How are you? Okay. Okay, perfect. Now that we got all the nitty gritty out of the way, that little mental and psychological reminder, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of doing some analysis across our main pairs, looking at any economic events we might have overnight. Pretty much though, overnight, I already pulled it up for this on the screen for you guys for the YouTube audience. Private chat, you guys get sent the economic report every week anyways. We don't have any significant economic data through Euro or London session. All right. We're primarily going to be watching some of our reactive headlines where you have real time streaming news headlines to the left of your screen here. This is like a little news terminal, right? It's faster than Twitter feeds, faster than most websites. Most websites now be sourcing from the Capital Hungry Twitter feed, but this is faster than the Twitter feed as well for private members. All right. If you're trading New York at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, there's the US jobs data as well as durable goods and GDP that can impact the US dollar, gold, and US equities, followed by at 10 a.m. Eastern, pending US home sales, which again is impacting the same thing. All right. Other than that, we don't have any economic events overnight, but we do want to focus on some key fundamental points that what we can understand when we're going to be looking at our safe haven currencies and our fear and greed indicators, such as the US dollar. What was that, Curtis? Yeah, there you go. So, such as the US dollar, the Japanese yen, the volatility index, we're going to notice that our safe haven currencies are relatively bearish. They're weak. And our risk assets, such as the global stock markets across the board, are still very bullish. This means that markets are optimistic, investors are optimistic. When investors are optimistic and have strong confidence in the markets, they're putting more liquidity and order flow into those risk assets that give them a large reward on their dollar. And they're riding that wave with the central bank that's pumping the markets and with the governments, with the corporations, right? So we can identify that right off the bat. And another reminder is that just to keep in mind, it is the last business week of the month, and we have this monthly candle coming to a close and a new monthly candle opening up. Oh shit, I got these alarms here. The fuck does Chris want at this hour? Girls, you know what I mean? Never leave you alone. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So that's just another thing we want to keep in mind is the coming towards the end of the month here. And what I was talking about of the optimistic markets is if you look at stock markets across every region and you look at the higher time frame structure, like if you go to the 4 hour or if you go to the daily time frame and you zoom out, you're just going to see continuous highs being printed and an overall bullish trend across the world on those regions, right? And then when you look at the inverse side of our safe haven currencies, such as the US dollar, the Japanese yen, or a good North American market fear and greed indicator being the volatility index, which is the inverse information of the S&P 500. When this is extremely bearish, it's showing that there is way less fear in the markets and markets are overall optimistic, right? So we can use this potential advantage of a weak Japanese yen, a weak US dollar to our advantage on potential GU, GJ, and Euro USD buys alongside price action and market structure, and USD CAD sells. And then we're going to be looking at gold separately as well based on the market structure. Primarily overnight, I just want to be watching the US dollar's movement on the intraday time frame. So I'm just going to put it on a candlestick chart here, and we're going to be watching that on the 30-minute time frame overnight, because basically what this is going to tell me when I'm watching the US dollar's active movement over the London session as volume comes in is if I see the US dollar bouncing from this support level and having an impulsive upside move, this is showing me that over London session there is more liquidity going into the safe haven currencies such as the dollar, Swiss franc, and Japanese yen. So if I see that on the dollar standalone, watching the dollar index on the intraday time frames, I'm going to be more hesitant to not take a Euro USD buy or to not take a GBP USD buy. So it provides that extra confluence and it provides that extra fundamental support because you're not just watching the US dollar by itself, you're watching a safe haven currency. The US dollar is known as the world's reserve currency and is pretty much the global business currency. A lot of global trade has been done in the US dollar historically. That's why for example oil is called the petrodollar when it's traded in US dollars, right? So anyways, a leading indicator in a sense, I don't want to call anything essentially an indicator, but it's just another tool because this is an indicator. The US dollar itself is a currency and a trading instrument that is constantly being moved and traded throughout the hours of the day, right? So it's not like an EMA or a Fibonacci, you know? Yeah, you guys don't want me to like I'm just saying like if the dollar does go up, then obviously it's gonna mess up if we're looking for GBP USD, Euro USD buys. What I do want is the dollar to break this support as we're still in bearish market structure and go down to print a new low. That is what I would like. That would further support our continued bias about GJ buys, GU buys, Euro USD buys, right? JPY index is JXY. It's not open all the time to observe, but you can watch its updates through the Asian session hours. JXY here. It's the like, and then obviously the dollar index is DXY. Okay. Oh, you want me to do the yellow line downwards? Yeah, same. That's what I also want. I want the dollar to continue down, and then we can continue to ride those buys like on GJ, GEU, Euro USD. But anyways, let's start off here on gold, and we're going to be starting off on the daily chart. I just cleared the chart for now for all of our levels, just so we can do a base dissection. So for those of you who've been following along, obviously since late 2018 when we had the trade wars come into the scene, Trump drama, right, with the US China trade wars. We had the Iran uncertainty where we almost had a world war with Iran going on at the start of 2020, and then obviously we had COVID like March 2020. This obviously all these fear catalysts led to an explosion on a safe haven precious metal such as gold. We understand this because we've seen this happen before with the 2008 financial crash. But what you have to understand is that the market moves in waves. Nothing just goes up forever. Eventually, those buyers are going to cash out of the market, and eventually, you're going to come out of that fear state. So once we peak these 2075 highs on gold, some of these buyers who have been riding these positional waves for an extended period of a couple of years, they're going to start to exit out positions, and sellers are also going to jump in hand to start pushing price down to a demand area. It doesn't matter if we watch this concept on the 1 minute time frame. It doesn't matter if we watch it on the hourly time frame or on the daily time frame, right? So after these 2075 highs were peaked, you can see that we started to enter more corrective pullback bearish market structure, right? Where the highs are getting significantly smaller, creating lower highs or rejecting the exact same price point, and we're starting to create more significant impulsive lows. So there is the potential now with how gold is moving that if we can break this previous low, that will extend down to get a deeper retest and create a secondary and create a deeper low, like around the 1700 1690s, before we have a potential higher time frame bounce like we've seen when these lows get created here. And you have this bounce, low got created here, you have this aggressive bounce. Now we've had this bounce here at the previous low, but no other significant low created when we start to dissect the market structure, right? So the market structure of gold is showing us that a lot of the fear from the pandemic markets has been priced in and digested. And since then, what have we had? Instead of having continuous fear headlines regarding COVID, what have we had instead? If you guys have noticed over like the last 4 to 5 months, that just came out of the woodworks, out of the blue. Every single country came out with one. Shit tons of vaccines, right? So we went from having this flood of fear of not knowing how dangerous this COVID virus was, about the uncertainty regarding the deaths, about the lockdowns and how every country was locked down. And then after it got priced in, after Dow Jones crashed to hit 18K, after GJ had that impulsive sell side move, and after gold peaked 2075, we have had nothing but a flood of vaccine headlines, whether it's Sputnik V's vaccine from Russia, biotech vaccine, AstraZeneca's, India's vaccine, so many vaccines right now, Johnson and Johnson, Pfizer, right? So that is essentially bringing market optimism because investors start to price things in ahead of time. Investors, you have to understand the markets are corrupt and greedy. These smart money, or these whales, these institutions, the one percenters, whatever you want to call it, the guys and girls, I'm not trying to be sexist here, probably mostly guys, but anyways, whoever it is that's moving the market, they are always trying to be a couple of steps ahead. So before the vaccines are even actually rolled out and actually effective, they're already going to start taking investments just based on the rumor of vaccines. You get what I'm saying? The financial markets are always moving ahead of the real world, is what I'm trying to say. The real world and the 99% follows up afterwards. Does that make sense to everybody? But anyways, so ever since that 2075 high was peaked, the pandemic fears were priced in, and we've had that flood of vaccine talks, gold has entered more of this corrective bearish pullback structure, right? And even when we're looking at some of the price action here, we are still noticing more impulsive sellers candles. And when we're looking at the price action over the last few days, it's not like we're noticing any buyer's pressure, right? Yes, we had a nice bounce at this previous low. But when we zoom into the 4-hour time frame and intraday time frames, you're going to notice that that bounce went to retest intraday bearish market structure and a price sensitivity zone that we have yet to break above, which I'm going to show you guys that now on the hourly time frame. Okay, so obviously all the key levels and everything are already set, and you can see that since those since January 6th at the start of the year, we've had more impulsive sell-off moves, corrective phases, and then impulsive sell-off moves to create lows, right? This bearish market structure has also been respected for an extended period of time now, where even when we had this aggressive bounce that I was talking about from this previous low point, this price point that we bounced from was that previous low to the left that we were looking at on the daily. So even though we had this very nice bounce where we had this bullish market structure on the intraday time frames, you can see we did not have enough buyer order flow to break above that bearish market structure or even test previous highs. Do you see what I'm saying? And from that point, here we started to create a consolidation zone, liquidity zone in order block, where we have to be very careful as we were watching that order block. We could have very well had a support formed and a breakout to the upside, but we did not get that. Instead, we failed to break that bearish market structure. We failed to break the 1812 key level. The multiple attempts to break 1812 here on the intraday in the lower time frame are your first signs of buyers exhausting and starting to exit the market. This was a very impulsive bearish candle that also broke this lower time frame bullish market structure we were watching and broke to the order block downside. So you could validate this as seller side liquidity. Now we've had this seller's impulsive move, and even though we had this aggressive pullback, look where the pullback went. It went to retest that order block, right? Where we just had that sell-off move. And have we broken above it? No. Right? So this is looking like we're still respecting bearish market structure after creating this low, bouncing off that price point we were looking at on the daily. We had this order block and consolidation zone, liquidity zone being generated at the retest of bearish market structure, where here you were having a decision formed by buyers and sellers, right? If there was enough fundamental validation and market fear for continued increase in gold demand, because gold is a safe haven precious metal. It's not like silver, where silver has a lot more uses in industry. But if there was more signs of market fear, we could have very well respected the lows of this zone and then had our breakout to the upside. So that's why when you see a consolidation, you have to be very cautious of where it's consolidating, the overall structure, and then watch that consolidation for the potential breakout and not play a guessing game with it, right? Here, it looked like higher potential that our breakout was going to be to the downside just because we're respecting that overall bearish market structure. And we've seen this happen before. We've seen these dips and lows get created. When this low gets created, sellers exit positions, buyers jump in, and it creates a pullback. You have this aggressive pullback, but it doesn't break structure. A resistance, consolidation, order block is formed, and then you have a continuation with this overall bearish structure, right? So we're seeing something very similar here. And even here, It wasn't as aggressive of a pullback as this, but you can see this almost went to retest that order block low before we continued right back down. Understand? And even here, you had some bullish market structure that was being respected for an intraday period until we went to that bearish market structure retest point. So what is different between this and what can potentially happen here? You guys see that? So with that being said, with gold's current price positioning and price action, I am in a bearish bias. The only way I would be looking for buys is if we come down, and if we come down to a key level, like let's just say 1781, and start to create a support and have a bounce from a higher time frame key level, or if we break above 1812. That is the only way I would essentially be looking for gold buys. Higher risk gold buys would be if we came back above 1803 and essentially snap back into this range, right? Then we could say, all right, we failed to break this key level at 1795. We had multiple rejections here that were breaking above. We're coming just right back into this range. We can start to take higher risk buys here. But what I am mainly looking for is with the London volume is even if we range a bit for a couple of hours, if we can break below 1795 where we're getting a lot of rejection on the lower time frame, it can show me a lot of sellers pressure to at least revisit this low where that is like 100, a minimum of 100 pip downside move. I'm pretty much just looking for trying to take advantage of this piece now, right? That's what I'm trying to start to take advantage of and patiently wait for now. The only way I'm going to see buys is if we have some negative headlines that bring market fear, and if we get a shift in this structure. For example, here, people might start looking for gold buys here because you're thinking a support is being made, but it's just another liquidity zone for a drop after we've already broken this bullish structure. We're seeing that sort of happen right here. You get what I'm saying? It's very similar. Here, let me clean this up and then show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we'll just quickly do this. We'll just say that was the bearish market structure, right? This was a previous low that was created there with the seller's impulsive moves. This was a low that was created here. You can see from about the 4th to the 10th, a whole week, gold was bullish in respecting that bullish structure. Like here, from the 19th till almost pretty much earlier today, gold is respecting this bullish market structure until we came to retest that consolidation zone. Here we had a break and then another consolidation zone and continuation down. It's not much different to what I'm seeing here, right? But I don't want to sell unless we get very similar to like this. See how here we were starting to create a bit of a support and you're bouncing around here. These bounces can be 50 pip bounces here with over the couple of hours as you're generating more order flow for the next impulsive move down. So that's why I want to wait for that confirmed that we break below that support at 1795 area. Right? Because you can see the amount of rejections on the 1 minute time frame at this area right on the dot. But what I do like is that the upside bounces are getting significantly smaller and smaller so far. So that's a good sign that the seller's pressure is building. We just need that nice clean break below 1795 and we can start to revisit these lows. This range right here, I don't really want to play with. I would only be looking for buys if we came back above 1803 like I was telling you guys. Okay? So for anybody who is asking about gold that comes into the stream, just say the range between 1795 and 1803 we're not touching. If we break below 1795, we're looking for impulsive sells to revisit that previous low and start to work our way down with the overall bearish market structure, we'd only be looking for gold buys if we break above 1803, or if we do get, like, let's just say we do get like an impulsive sell-off, and then on the lower time frame we notice a support being formed for like a potential buy bounce. Even if the buy bounce goes from one level to one level, it's like 80 pips, right? Like something like this. We might be able to take advantage of like a 100 pip sell, then start to notice some exhaustion for a buy. That's the only way I'd sort of be looking for a buy, is if we dug deeper and then started to form a support, or if we came above 1803. This is why I don't trade. For somebody who just asked, if USD pairs and if US dollar alone and JPY alone is weak, then how would you trade USD JPY? You don't. It's a fucking messy shit show. It has no clean market structure because you have a safe haven currency against a safe haven currency, and you have a tug of war going on of basically who's weaker. I don't like trading pairs that are a tug of war. I like trading a pair where one side is winning. Does that make sense to everybody? Because at the end of the day, when you're trading a currency quote pair, you're essentially trying to evaluate which one is stronger than the other one, so you can take a trade on that. So when both are weak as fuck, it's a guessing game, right? So, and you end up with like shit like UJ here, where it can just be very like, even in these intraday ranges, it just goes like up and down. I guess we got a bit of bullish structure, but like look at this, you know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah, so I like to trade pairs that have a risk currency as a primary, and then a safe haven currency, or the inverse. Like USD CAD is the inverse. USD CAD is your safe haven currency first, then your risk currency secondary. So instead of having bullish structure like our GJ, our GU, our Euro USD, it's the inverse. It's had bearish market structure for an extended period of time, right? So you can also use this information to create correlations. Well, you're not creating correlations. The correlations are already there. You can read the correlations to help give you confluences for trades. That's why essentially US dollar against the Canadian dollar is pretty much the inverse market structure of like Euro USD. It's not the exact inverse because you have different currencies, but the concept of the safe haven, of how smart money is moving through the safe haven and through risk currencies, is the same, right? So anyways, let's go back to gold here. So gold, we understand what we're looking for on gold. We're tapping 1795 again. What time is it right now? This is the new hourly candle that just opened up. So how did this previous hourly close? It closed nice and bearish. What I don't like about this new hourly candle is that it's pushing down first to the key level and doesn't have an upper wick. I would like if it had some type of upper wick at least and then push down. Or if this hourly candle closes bearish and below the level without an upper wick, that shows me more seller's pressure. But I don't like an active candle like this that has pushed down first without that upper wick. Technically, most intraday candles, if you guys notice them, from like 4-hour time frame and up, there's a higher probability that a wick will be created on either side, even if it's like just a little nipple. There's usually some type of wick creation that I've noticed, like 8 out of 10 candles if you check. So it's not like something to marry. It's just a little technical cue that I've noticed while watching the markets over the years. And also understand that I have used the same broker feed for those 3 years, and that's been Owanda. All right. But anyways, same. We still want those sells below 1795 though, so we're gonna watch that accordingly. But you can see how we're reacting at the level. but if we could melt below there, even if we could get the quick scalp and melt below here, right? And dig down to like 1791 and potentially cash out 40 pips, and then maybe after it makes that upper wick, you know? Pablo, there's a down channel on the daily chart. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's not something to marry 100%. It's just something to be aware about. And remember, um, we're still going to be watching the markets overnight anyways. So like we still have London session itself. I was just talking about that quick scalp possibility could be there in and out, and then we could set up again. But well, you guys all understand what we're looking for on gold, primarily in that sell bias, and you guys understand why. You could rewind this to the 30-minute mark. I think somebody said to rewatch that to understand why. And I'm gonna go do some GJ analysis now. Now, GJ, March, COVID crash, pandemic got priced in, central bank jumped in to support the economy and the stock market. In this situation, it was the Bank of England. The Japanese yen got weaker because it's a safe haven currency. Since then, we have had this bullish market structure. Continuous highs being printed, only have had pullbacks from uncertainty early pandemic and Brexit that caused pullback phases that failed to break previous lows and did not break market structure, right? Now, ever since the Brexit optimism and the vaccine optimism, GJ has had minimal pullbacks and has been trending extremely bullish and breaking above this historical liquidity zone to the left as well. As per scalp or intraday trades overnight, we're going to continue to ride this bullish momentum and be in a buy bias. We're just going to be zooming down the time frames looking for entry points. But just for reference for anybody else potentially looking to map out more higher time frame trades, what I'm potentially looking for as we're coming towards the end of the month, and this monthly candle is going to be closing very soon, is a potential pullback on the new month to revisit these previous highs here. That one was really bad, not right there. Right? So if the new month could make a lower wick to grab liquidity and push price down to a better demand area just to set up, and as you notice on the monthly candles, more significant wicks are created, right? So if we could do that with the momentum we have to retest that area and then just continue right back up to like start having that deeper economic recovery. But as per tonight, I don't really think we're gonna get an aggressive pullback tonight unless there's some type of Brexit uncertainty or some type of new market fear that comes in from the headlines when we're watching the headlines to the left. You know what I mean? We're probably just gonna get some small pullbacks and continuations with this bullish momentum. Maybe for the new month we'll get that pullback. But yeah, right? You can see that we would just have highs be created, and the market can only move up in two ways. You either generate order flow, which we observe as a technical consolidation or order block that doesn't break structure, and then you have a breakout impulsive move to the upside, or you create a high, have a retracement, which is usually roughly a 50% retracement, or usually to retest a previous high, and price goes down to a better demand area to continue back up. So you can see those phases have been playing out on GJ. You have highs created and either a consolidation and continuation up. Once that high is created, you have a pullback and continuation up. Here you had a consolidation and continuation up. Here you had a minor pullback. You get what I'm saying, right? This momentum here is looking pretty strong for us to continue to like 150.5 next higher time frame key level here, with the fact that we've already had this impulsive move and this minor pullback here, and now we're going to revisit these previous highs. We just have to be very careful with how GJ investors and traders react at previous highs, because you can see that every time a high is created, Just because we have a pullback doesn't necessarily mean that when we go to test that high, we're going to break it. Sometimes it can take multiple attempts to revisit an area and break above that area. Okay? 6 vaccine candidates. Holy shit. Genova, Biological E, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Dr. Who the fuck is Dr. Reddy? Wow, more vaccines coming from India, guys. Prime Speed Medical Services obtained the right to provide the Russian COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik V in Egypt. In India's health minister official says 6 vaccine candidates may be approved for emergency use. Have you guys been paying attention to what I've been saying about these vaccines? Have any of these vaccines been approved? Fully approved? Answer that question. Has any singular vaccine yet, no matter how effective, has it been fully approved yet? Even though 100 million people have been vaccinated worldwide, has any vaccine been fully approved? No, they've only been emergency. They've only gone through emergency approval, which is pretty much like fucking. All right, let's just fucking pin these guys. You know what I mean? Fuck, hurry up, get this shit out there. Not one vaccine out of these hundreds of not hundreds of vaccines, but out of these tens of vaccines. Fuck, man, you guys catch that gold short? I told you guys, bro. 1795, quick scalp coming up. But what would be nice is if for a follow up for London, if we get a retest and continuation down. But did it make sense of why we were looking for those sells below 1795? I was just a bit iffy about the candle not having an upper wick, but I still said we could still get that sell before it even the hour even finishes. You know what I mean? Right? If you guys caught that sell, you got like easily 40 pips right now already. So I would secure some partials and leave the runners risk free, or just secure everything and then we'll see what sets up again for London session, right? So either secure some partials so you protect yourself, you profit a bit. Anything else, leave it risk free, and then we're gonna still watch how this next 30-minute and hourly candle will close. W in the chat if you got to catch that quick gold sell. I was telling you guys, be quick with it. I was saying we could come down. You can. I literally said it's gonna come down. You can cash some positions out quick. Then we'll watch what happens. All right. So just watch now. Let's just be patient. Let's just see what actually sets up for London in like the next 30 minutes. But I do like. Remember, I was telling you guys as well that I did like how these bounces were getting significantly smaller. All right, so hopefully you guys cashed some out now when I told you to, because we were expecting this pullback and the potential for that upper wick to still be created. But don't worry, if you didn't catch that quick gold sell for a scalp, don't have any FOMO. Don't jump into a trade right now impulsively. Just relax. It's only pre-London. We're still going to have opportunities through London session in the next 3 to 4 hours. All right. Gold also just did a very aggressive little pullback here. Don't I always give the best advice of when to close quickly? Bro, what are you spamming XXX, bro? Why are you spamming triple X? Gonna get my fucking shit banned for porn or something. Relax, cigar. What do you spam? Everyone that missed his so-called advice, leave a M if you want. Yeah, relax. Yeah, Roger took me for. Did Roger post his car on Instagram? The Durango, right? Oh, okay. I didn't want to expose. All right, yeah. Roger took me for a ride in it today. Fucking nasty, man. Wow, that thing's a tank. I don't want to. I don't like to say shit about like if somebody else didn't even say it yet themselves, you know. And I don't have Instagram anymore to check. Yeah, I traded yesterday. I'm looking for some trades tonight too. What trades did I? I took these. I don't know. I don't know why my broker got rid of my tag or it was glitching yesterday, but I made 7,000. But it started out like 1,700 with the first scalps, and then I took some more gold scalps and shit. But that's it. I didn't take any trades today yet. I'm not in nothing right now yet. Like I didn't catch that gold sell myself because I was breaking down GJ for you guys. You know what I mean? So I'm also still patiently waiting for a pullback so I can catch some gold sells tonight. That was too like while I was explaining GJ, that was way too fast for me to enter and explain things and like come back and also close. I wouldn't even have, you know what I mean? It's hard to. I like to trade the days like of course when it's clean, I'll take the trades, the same trades I'm giving you guys here. But it's hard to like manage like 100 people in the Zoom, talk about all these 5 different pairs in the YouTube chat, and then trade manage as well too. You know. Shut up, Alvarez. All right, so let's go back to the GJ analysis though. So we understand GJ's bullish. Oh shit, this is a lot of exhaustion here. Yo, we might get some quick GJ sells actually. If we break to the downside of this little order block, I could see a pullback down to 0.800 and deeper. But there's so much price sensitivity in the way. I don't really want to sell GJ. I'd actually personally rather wait for the buys. So what I'm waiting for at London session, let's go. Let's see what the structure is looking like here. So you can see we broke out of this corrective bear structure here. Since that point, we've had this bullish structure being respected on GJ. So I'm going from that base low point. How is your Capital Hungry logo detached from your screen? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Albella Danger, search now. Why are you guys sending porn shit in my fucking YouTube? Why are you guys trying to get me banned or something? One guy's spamming XXX. One guy's telling everybody search Albella Danger. We know who she is. Why do we know? Everyone knows who she is. We all had our turn. Virtually. But anyways, yeah, stop spamming that in the chat, man. You guys are fucking weird. All right, so this is lower time frame bullish market structure from this price grab point and pretty much from these same lows. You can see from this pullback here, we still respected this structure and went back to revisit those previous highs, right? So now we're in a bit of a pickle. We're in a bit of a sticky situation here because where we are creating this rejection and order block and consolidation is at previous highs on GJ, right? There is the potential if we could break below all of this price sensitivity here that we can get a deeper pullback on GJ if we fail to break these highs for the third attempt now. You can see with this attempt here, we started to enter a corrective stage where we pulled back all the way down to 149.2 to this demand area, and then buyers jumped back in from this demand area. From this point, we still did not have enough order flow to break higher. We're rejecting that same price point. This is telling me that there is the potential for two things now. Either GJ is just going to consolidate and generate liquidity for an extended period of hours, or we're gonna get a pullback phase, and that pullback phase can possibly bring us down to 149.5 or 149.2. The high risk sells would be if we at London Open come back up to 150 to these highs and we fail to break. The safer sells would be below 149.800. I'd only be looking for buys at this point if we have a pullback and support formed. This cigar guy created another account to spam the porn shit? You didn't even change your name. You just made cigar number 2 or some shit. Bro, take it easy. What the hell? Yeah, this is desperation. This is fucking like, you gotta picture this guy sitting in his brown Fruit of Looms. They're not even white. At this point, they're yellowish brown. He's sitting in his yellowish brown wife beater and Fruit of Loom underwear, watching our stream, spamming this shit, pressing Control V on his keyboard 100 times, sweating. If you're sweating in your Fruit of Looms, copying and pasting shit in a YouTube chat, evaluate your life. You know what I mean? Evaluate your life. Go to the washroom and look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and say, what the fuck am I doing right now? Just ask yourself that question and be like, what am I doing right now? I'm in somebody's YouTube chat at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night. They don't know I fucking exist, and I'm spamming their YouTube chat. Just ask us, and then look at yourself. Give yourself a good hard look for 10 minutes straight. Look yourself in the eyes. I'm doing it right now. I'm looking in a mirror at myself right now. I want you to do the same. And ask yourself, are you proud of yourself? If you feel disappointed, then you got your answer. You know what I mean? I don't know why you're spamming porn stars in this in this trading chat. It's ridiculous. But anyways, so I don't really want to buy GJ at this high right now unless we had a break and retest above 150, or unless we have a pullback and we create a support at one of our psychological price levels. Like when we had this impulsive move and we had this pullback to 149.2. We've had multiple like pullbacks and plays off these PPLs for like 10, 20, 30 pips. You know what I mean? So I don't really want to buy here, even though GJ is bullish. If that's a good question, Forex Matador. Well, if we have an Iran war, this will finally bring some market fear and uncertainty where our safe haven currencies will be bought. Remember, buy low, sell high. So when you look at the US dollar right here, this shit gets me fucking a little bit horny. When you look at the US dollar here, right? It's at like a 6-year low, right? As soon as the Iran war comes to the scene, guess who's going to be buying the fuck out of this dollar? And it's going to be rocketing right back up to these previous highs. Sell high with the market optimism, buy low when that market fear comes in. Same thing with the Japanese yen. Right? So if we have a war on Iran, from a humane perspective, it sucks. Like, war's not good. People die in war. But it's going to cause a shift in the macro fundamental sentiment, meaning we will get money going into our safe haven currencies like the US dollar, and this 6-year low would get bought up, and we finally break this bearish market structure, because nothing goes down forever and nothing goes up forever. Stock market didn't care. They said rockets were hitting the embassy. That's the Iraq green zone in Baghdad. That's not Iran. You're getting your Middle Eastern countries mixed up, you racist. Man's like, oh, Iraq, Iran, same shit. No, kidding. But actually, you're getting in, like, yeah, the Baghdad green zone, that's Iraq. Those bombs, the reason why those bombs don't have an impact is because those bombs have been going off for at least 20 years now. Not actually 20, at least, no, probably actually 20 years now. Wow. So when a war happens, US 30 will fall and the stock markets will finally get sold at their highs. Buy low, sell high. A war comes to the scene. Perfect time for those stock market buyers to bet to cash out and jump in sells. And perfect time for the dollar to get bought up. You see how the timing of the technicals and the buy low and sell high would line up with the war or this fundamental fear? So yeah, that was a good question. If there's a war in Iran, our safe haven currencies would be bullish. Japanese yen would be bullish, US dollar would be bullish. Stock markets would have a higher potential of being bearish with that economic certainty because that war in Iran, every single country would start getting involved and throwing their 2 cents in, you know? Yeah, it's crazy. The perspective's crazy. So from a humane perspective, war would suck. Like you have people dying, losing their families, but like at the end of the day, war is something that has been seen through human society through history. No matter if it was like Genghis Khan conquering Alexander the Great, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Yo, who the fuck is this cigar guy? Yo, let's put this. Let's get rid of this guy. Yeah, now all the messages are hidden. Sick. Yeah, war is a part of life due to human greed. Oh, GJ broke that. GJ broke that little order block we're talking about on this side for those scalp sells, and Asper had those multiple like these 1 minute rejections at 150 were extremely clean, and we're starting to break that bullish structure as well. You just have to be cautious about this support here in the lower time frame, where we could just start to range between these highs and lows. Yeah, remember those Iran tensions from 2019? Yes, if more inflation kicks in and interest rates stay low and more stimulus happens, then this is a bullish impacting factor on gold, but more of like a macro bullish impacting factor. All right, so GJ, overnight we're gonna be if you didn't catch these sells here at the top we were just talking about right now when we noticed the rejections at 150, um, we'll be looking to adapt to some sells. Remember, this is counter trend trading. We're gonna be looking to adapt to some sells overnight, or if you want to play with the trend, you can just let the sells and pullbacks happen as price gets pushed down to a better demand area. It's usually a psychological price level and wait for a support buys. All right. I'm personally more waiting for a deeper pullback and support buys because GJ is still so bullish on most time frames. That's what I'm waiting for. But some people like to play those counter trend trades and catch those quick scalps and be in and out of the market. The thing where people get confused is when you are counter trend trading and you are potentially taking this sell scalp, you have to mentally understand you're going against the higher time frame trend and sentiment, and that price could go very well against you very quick. For example, like something like this. You could be playing these scalp sells, but as soon as you get signs of sellers exhaustion and the higher time frame trend kicks in again and buyers jump in from a better demand area, your profit can be canceled out just as quick. Right? So you have to be very cautious while you're counter trend trading or playing these pullbacks. But we obviously identified that exhaustion at these previous highs and at 150. So we're going to be watching that overnight to see if London does a pullback, creates an upper wick, and we can take more scalp sells down for anybody who wants to take those corrective sells. I'm going to be patiently waiting for a deeper push down to some psychological price levels in a support form. Somebody's really trying to get my YouTube banned and spamming like porn shit in the chat. Why? Like, why so? People like this stream. My YouTube's already not monetized, and now you're trying to get it banned. Ruthless, yo, ruthless. Yeah, maybe it's Paul. how many candles can you define as a support? That is something that is reactionary, because you could start defining this support here at right here, but you don't actually start to get your move up till hours later, right? Usually, I'll define the support at a key level or a psychological price level, but how many candles I'm waiting for to define it as a support is not really relevant. That's just dependent on the market. The market can create a support for hours or create a support for 10 minutes at a key level, then continue back up. You know? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I get in a lot of drama with some marketers, like IML people and a lot of IG marketers. So they've tried to spam my chat before. So maybe they're trying to do that, you know? It is okay, new 30-minute candles coming up. I'm very critical about how this gold hourly candle is going to close. I really want it to close without that upper wick and close strong bearish below 1795, so we could just get a retest of the new hourly and then continue right back down. All right. Before we jump into some GU analysis, and you see the bounce around 0.800 here, also the new 30-minute candles. This news to the left is a Telegram news bot that's for the private channel members connected to the Reuters icon terminal. I pay like fucking 30K CAD a year for that. Yeah, we trade AU, but we did higher time frame analysis on AU for buys. But that was more a swing trade in the Capital Hungry private chat. But anyways, let's go look at GJ. I'm personally waiting for support buys. This was a sell scalp that was available, but that was pretty much it until we go to actual London session in like 29 minutes. You know what I mean? That's a Tesla each year. Yeah, thanks for explaining it that way. Makes me feel better. It's cheaper. The Reuters icon though is cheaper than the Bloomberg terminal. The Bloomberg terminal I think is 10 or 15K more a year. I don't know if it has better information. They're both pretty reliable news sites or news companies, I guess you could say. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, you could send a chart. You could send a chart in the chat, like with the TradingView code, anything else as well. Yeah, see what I mean? When you're playing these sell scalps, you have to be very cautious of these pullbacks as you're counter trend trading. How can I get the Hooters terminal too? All right, one sec here. Any explanation on why GJ and GU candles move the same way? Hello, darkness, my old friend. I see another retard again. Okay. I'm kidding, Mr. Guyan Wikarati. You could just rewind this webinar. I was literally talking about safe haven currencies and risk currencies and why they move the same. Same currency correlated movement. That is incorrect, not winning 3416, because GBP AUD might not be moving the same as GBPJPY or GBP USD. It has to be the same primary and then a safe haven as a secondary to have similar market structure and price action movements. For anybody who's asking more questions about entry, we got 115 people. For anybody who's asking questions about entries and everything else like that, make sure you guys, before you ask all those questions, you watch the Scalping 101 series. Like each webinar could be like an hour and a half to 2 hours long, but it's a 4-part series. that'll show you exactly how I scalp, what I look for when I scalp. Because during these live streams, also when I'm potentially looking for trades, I'm more just doing active analysis across these main pairs and then looking for entry points and execution points, right? For all of like the concepts behind the analysis, you have a ton of resources here on the Capital Hungry YouTube page. Yeah, sure. Before I jump into GU, we can check this out. Do you think JPY pairs will retest support and keep moving upwards for next week? I would like a deeper pullback on JPY pairs for the new month, just to create a deeper monthly wick, so we could get better risk versus reward buys. So yeah, I would like that pullback on like main JPY pairs like EJ, AJ, GJ. Pretty similar structure on most of those pairs. Here we go, GJ. Yes, sir. This would be the safest buy. The safest buy would be above 150. No trade zone. I like your patience, sir. And the safest sells would be below 149.2. For GJ, if you want to know some of the pair, like just rewind this stream to about 40 minutes in, where I was doing GJ analysis from the higher time frame, talking about potential retest points on the monthly. Bro, this guy's making this guy came in with his 6th account. Bro, you have more YouTube accounts than fucking crashed trading accounts. That's crazy. Just to spam porn names. That's ridiculous, man. How many accounts, like, are you actively making these for me right now? That's dedication. But yeah, this would be the safest sell when you have a confirm out of this consolidation zone and break below these previous intraday lows, and showing more sellers pressure after failing to break these highs. We might not get that deep of a pullback until the new monthly candle, I think. I think we might still just have some minor pullbacks and then continuations to the upside, pretty much like we've been seeing here. Like you have this upside move, price come down, bounce, price come down, bounce. We might get like something similar to that. And then for the new month, get a deeper pullback. Yeah, you guys think? Oh, you guys think that's Todd Capital trying to sabotage me? Could be, could be. I don't know. That's the one thing is like I don't know who it could be. I don't know that person even exists until they came into the chat. But they love me, you know. All right, so GU. Yeah, it could be a bunch of different people. A lot of people don't like me. You think it's Ted? Why? The fuck? What broker is the one? Is that one fast one? Can't read that. Anyways, GU is going to be very similar to what we're talking about as per GJ with the overall bullish market structure. I don't have to break it down and repeat myself. We understand why this crash happened in March. We understand the central banks jumped in and why the markets have been so bullish since, right? Brexit optimism, vaccine optimism, Bank of England support, the secondary, the US dollar, extremely weak because it's a safe haven currency. Okay? So we understand that. Yeah, I'm gonna go to UCAD after as well. Don't worry about it. You wanna steal my levels, don't you? I'm gonna go to UCAD after. But UCAD, we've just been playing this bearish market structure for like 8 months now almost. All right. So you can see, similar to GJ, once we've peaked these new highs at 1422, we're starting to get some reaction and sellers jumping in and buyers exiting positions at these new highs. Also, when we zoom out here, we can see that the US dollar is respecting this new low support that is starting to create here. So, like we were talking about, if the dollar has an upside move standalone over London session and goes to revisit these previous minor highs and the top of this range, then there is the potential for GU to do a deeper correction and pullback here to revisit 1.40 flat area before we possibly create a support and continue back up. So I am starting to notice exhaustion at these new highs on our GBP pairs against safe haven currency pairs. Here you can see this was the initial reaction at this high, right? Then we had a pullback, sellers jump in the market, price pushed down to a better demand area and create the support. The bounce from this support was significantly smaller with very weak bullish price action. You can see compared to some of these bullish impulsive moves that have gone to create new highs, this bullish price action has been very weak and stagnant with a mix of bullish and bearish candles. So there is that potential that if we can look for some GU short opportunities to start catching a deeper pullback down to at least 1.405 and potentially 1.40 flat. I'm not too much of an expert on some of the main industry metals like copper or iron. I just know that the consumption of copper and iron has been through the roof ever since China has been rebounding and recovered from the COVID pandemic. And you have to understand, China is a major industrial country. Everybody already knows that. But when they start to grind out economic and industrial output, they put in that work and their consumption is crazy. And they dealt with Asia Pac side and China dealt with COVID first and also came out of COVID first, right? China essentially defeated COVID like at the like 6 months into it. While it was starting to travel into Europe and then come to North America, President of China said, "Yeah, we defeated COVID. We're going back to work," and nobody batted an eye. Batted an eye. Get it? Bat. Fucking COVID started with the bat suit. Whatever. Anyways, and then as they started to recover from COVID and the pandemic markets and their economies opened back up, their consumption of metals such as iron, such as copper, and commodities such as oil has been through the roof. One of the reasons why iron, copper, and oil have been so bullish is due to the demand increase by China. And obviously, other parts of the world opening back up and all these cars going back on the road, industries opening back up, the demand for oil increased and the demand for these metals is increasing again in industry, right? So I don't personally trade these metals, but I do understand that the demand for them is increasing as well as the consumption of them. And that's going into industrial output mainly from China. And for anybody who was curious with why oil crashed, it was due, like during the pandemic markets as well, it was due to that massive oversupply and over storage, and these distributors didn't have anywhere to store it, so nobody wanted to pick up the futures contract for that storage. And it was also due to a massive low demand because you had industries around the world shut down and you had billions of cars off the road, right? So what happens when you have an oversupply of a product and a low demand for it? You have a decreased drop in value until somebody wants to pick that up. And it finally got picked up with the futures contract at minus $40 a barrel. And now it's right back to like $60 a barrel because with that market optimism and with that consumption increase. Because you have to understand, oil is an economic powerhouse. It is a market mover and could essentially fuck up the world. And this is what I mean by that. The average cost of producing a barrel of oil in most developed countries like Canada, the US, even like the UK is a bit more expensive, is roughly $20 a barrel. Okay. except for like I know Russia can go a bit cheaper, and the country and Saudi can go the cheapest. Saudi can sustain oil production at $10 a barrel, right? That means they can produce 1 barrel of crude oil for roughly $10. So their margin of profit is almost $50 when crude oil is priced at 60, right? They're making 50 to $60 a barrel on millions and millions of barrels being shipped out a day. That's billions and billions of dollars. But when you have the price of crude oil below $20 a barrel, what does this mean? This means all of those oil companies in Canada, all of those oil companies in the US, all of those oil companies in those developed countries are not making any profit, right? Because the cost of producing oil is $20 and the price of oil is $20. So that's why when oil crashed, you had this global panic. You had OPEC jump in, you had the Arab countries, North American countries, Europe all come together and have meetings, talk about they need to decrease their production to regulate the supply, and they need to increase their consumption. Do you understand? Because those governments in those countries know that if oil remained below $20 a barrel for an extended period of time, that all of those companies around the world would go bankrupt. I don't think it. Production cost of crude oil. Let's see. I don't think this one's too accurate, to be honest, but oilandgas360.com. This guy's got a bad fucking agenda here. Oh, here. Saudi Arabia can go as low as $10 pretty much, $8.98. You can see their production cost. I'm talking about total cost, sorry. Well, Lee, you're right about just the production cost alone. I should have been more clear. I just mean the total cost, shipping, production, like all their expenses, and then minus that from the cost of the barrel is their profit, right? So, like for example, Saudi Arabia's total cost is $8.98 to produce 1 barrel of crude oil. We're gonna round it off and say $10 total cost. That means when a crude oil barrel is at $60, that they're making $50 on each barrel sold, right? And then you can see some of the main countries though, like only the Middle Eastern countries are really sustaining production at that price of roughly $10 total. Russia is up there with like $20. GJ, what happened? What do you mean what happened? Nothing. Where GJ is pulling back. Why are you guys so confused? We literally said, guys, looks like GJ is gonna do a hard pullback from here. Right? So anyways, but we're gonna do a rough estimate that the average between all of these countries is, let's say, $20. All right. So if you had that the price of crude oil is below $20 a barrel, that means all of these huge oil producing companies in each of these countries will not be making any profit. The ripple effect this would have on the global economy would be disastrous. Think about how many jobs are created by global oil. From the oil fields to the business to the transportation to the technology support for it to the business side of it to the physical side of it. There are millions and millions of jobs created around the world strictly connected to the oil industry, right? So as soon as oil was dropping to these negative numbers, all of these giants knew that they cannot allow oil to stay below this price for an extended period of time, because that means each of these countries' governments were going to have to jump in and bail out all those energy companies, and you would essentially have a whole sector crash in each respective country, the energy sector. I know the energy sector houses natural gas and solar power and all that shit, but it's mainly fucking oil as the energy sector. Right? And there would be a heavy ripple effect on natural gas anyways. Usually the production's in the same fucking areas. You know what I mean? So oil is a market mover and like a fundamental, what do you want to call it? Like a fundamental pillar. Oil, gold, these are like fundamental pillars. You know what I mean? Where if these things like disappeared or went to zero, it would have major impacts on global economies, jobs, especially oil with jobs. Understand? You guys gotta relax with GJ, man. I'm still waiting till London Open now. I was just chilling, waiting 10 minutes till London Open. That's a good reminder as well, Averas. Crude oil is a good positive correlation to the Canadian dollar too. So that's a good confluence as well. When you're watching the price of crude oil, if crude oil is extremely bullish, this means that Canada is generating more revenue, because one of their main, I know other countries generate revenue from oil exporting, but Canada's main revenue is oil. So it has a major positive correlation. When oil is extremely bearish, usually the Canadian dollar standalone is quite bearish as well, if there's no other impacting factors, you know? All right, I just want to see how these hourly candles are closing coming into London session hours. And I also have to go to the washroom, as I've been talking for a minute and drank a coffee. Now my insides are going wild, you know? Starting to create some corrective bearish market structure here on GU as well. I would like to get a retest of this structure, possibly failed to break at London Open, and then as if the dollar holds strength overnight, potential pullbacks down to 40405. Otherwise, you can see that we've had a very strong support at this area. Before I jump into Euro USD analysis, I'm just gonna go to the washroom quick, guys. All right, I'm just going to keep it on GJ now. We're going to see how these hourly candles are closing. It's not like we enter anything right at London session or before London anyways. You know what I mean? No, I'm not taking a secret washroom trade. I made as much money as your bloodline yesterday, you know? So I'm okay for the week. I can relax now for a bit. Yeah, I still got to do analysis on Euro USD and analysis on US 30 for trade ideas overnight. Whoever said AMC, if anybody talks about GameStop, AMC, or any of those, or any of that nonsense in this chat, then kick them out, you know? Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Don't forget some of the key fundamental points that we're watching. Economic events. Stream reminders. Stream reminders on your screen there for the YouTube chat. Your mental reminders for the YouTube chat and private chat. That quick little seizure for the YouTube chat. I just gotta go to the washroom super bad now. I'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes max. All right, what's going on now? All right, let's see how these hourly candles are closing before London Open here, and we'll assess what we can potentially continue to take on gold. GJ, one sec here. I just gotta answer a quick email. So GJ, look how GJ is closing this last hour here, coming right back to revisit this high and closing bullish. It looks like we might get those buys above 150 flat, but that's only gonna we'll let London do its liquidity grab first, and then if we continue back up 150, we'll take those buys. This is why, remember what I was telling you guys when I said I personally don't want to sell. I'd rather wait for the pullback buys at like a PPL. Here it happened to be at 0.800. It dipped a bit lower, like only 3 pips lower, but we can see that reaction. And this hourly candle is going to be closing with that liquidity grab and ending up closing bullish now. But does that make sense to everybody about why primarily we're just waiting for GJ to do its pullback? Obviously, I didn't take anything there. I'm still waiting till London Open now. So hopefully London Open now just creates a quick lower wick, comes back above 150, and then we're looking to take those scalps up to 150.200. If we can clear above these highs where we've been rejecting and get some candle body closures above here. Well, that's London Open right now. So nice hourly candle close at least. Gold as well. Let's see here. Gold hourly candle closed bearish. It's already starting to push down without an upper wick. So I didn't get an entry yet. I'm still going to be watching to see how we react at 1795 once we retest that area. If we do, bro, this shit's not even giving us a pullback. GJ, give us. Didn't even make a wick. Didn't even make a wick for us. Just went straight up. Dollar rejected the upside as well. It's starting to come down. GU. That means GU. We might be able to get some GU buys though, because GJ looks like it's gone. GU buys we could get if we break above this 1 minute high up to the key level again. Because GJ we missed right there. But GU, if GU breaks above this zone in the bearish market structure right here, let's just say at like 1417, then we could get that up to the top. GJ fucking went straight to 0.200 without even a lower wick. Nothing, you know what I mean? So that's just the nature of the beast. Nothing we can do. We're gonna patiently wait for a retest. I didn't get an entry. Any of you guys get like an impulsive entry? I didn't get shit, which is fine. You know what I mean? You guys got GJ buy limit? Fuck you guys. Fuck, man. I didn't get it. That went straight up. I didn't get a chance to enter. This was the first minute on the 3 a.m. candle. I didn't get a chance to enter. I'm waiting for a pullback. Gold as well. I think we're gonna be keeping an eye on gold here. We're starting to get a little bit of rejection here, but I still want that quick upper wick created, retest the level, and continuation down. GU, we're only going to be taking those GU buys if we break above here because we're still respecting this lower time frame bearish market structure. So I don't want to start jumping in buys without the confirms. And we're only taking the sells if we break below this 1 minute low at 1.412. Otherwise, we've just been bouncing here for the last about 5 hours. You know what I mean? No FOMO. We're going to get our pullbacks. It's only a few minutes into London Open. We still got to London close. I mean, we still got not till London close. You guys would have got excited if I said we're doing this till London close, till 11 a.m. Should I do it? Should I do a stream till 11 a.m.? No, fuck that. That might be the longest active Like I know some people stream a chart, but they don't talk or anything. But if I actually streamed for like till 11 a.m., that'd be crazy. Yeah, GJ didn't give me a chance to enter. It's the nature of the beast. I don't control the markets or if it's gonna like make that lower wick. All I wanted for GJ, all I wanted was a quick push down, make that hourly lower wick, come back up above 150, take that entry, and then boom. That's all I wanted. You know? And then go to like 150.2 where like we almost went to. But this was the London Open candle, so I didn't get a chance to enter, and the next minute went like up 20 pips there too. So it's all good. I'm just gonna let it do its pullback. If you guys got to catch that impulsive scalp, that's pretty nice. I don't enter. Just like FYI, I personally would not enter right before London Open, anyways. So for anybody who said like, "Oh, why don't you enter before then?" Because I don't know if GJ is gonna do a liquidity grab. You know how many times people have entered before London Open thinking they're gonna get a push and they get fucked in a liquidity grab and then it goes in the direction. You know what I mean? So that's why I never enter right before New York Open or right before London Open because I don't know if there's going to be an impulsive move to with the current trend direction or liquidity grab first. And especially during London on GJ, there's usually a liquidity grab, you know? So I still think we're going to get our pullback, to be honest. Oh shit, gold just gave a nice little retest. Why do you guys fucking think I took a what? Man, I'm gonna take the same trades. I would tell you, man, my shit is empty. No trades. No trades. Close, nothing open. Alright? Look. That's my trade history today. That's like the fucking active, you know? Terminal, nothing. I didn't get shit. I don't go to the washroom to fucking take an entry. I go to the washroom to take a shit or piss. Alright? Cause because I have to. I'm a human. I can't just keep talking for 2-3 hours straight while I'm trying to go back to the gym. I eat like 6-7 meals a day. You know what I mean? I'm trying to go back on my gym grind. I eat like 6 to 8 small meals a day, so I gotta go to the washroom pretty frequently. I'm not fucking taking secret trades. Gold, what the hell? Gold didn't hit 1789. Why'd this alert go off? Is gold glitching right now? Oh shit, it did. Fuck my life, man. I missed this shit because of you idiots. I just missed this nice little retest on gold. Tired of the shit. Huh? Ron, I'm not like yesterday. I don't know why the live tag was glitched, but you can see the live right there. Yesterday I made 7K USD, which is like roughly 9K CAD. You know what I mean? So like when I'm saying like, oh fuck, I missed this, I'm just joking around. I'm not actually getting that emotional or like you know what I mean? Bro, why you put fucking noisy stuff on your screen? Remove. We only want to see chart. No, bro, only you want to see the chart. Some people want to see news or when I share fucking a trade I took. You're just talking for yourself. You're so selfish. Yeah, I took a couple of L's there. Yo, look at this person someone sent me. This guy said this guy needed help. These are .10s that are $500 in drawdown. Crazy, right? What the fuck? Yeah, but I took a couple of L's, like $500 losses and shit. But you know what I mean? Some nice fucking GJ buys off the 5.500 PPL. But right now, nothing open, no positions open, no trades taken since the new daily candle. All right. And am I actually angry about that? No, I'm not. I'm just playing with you guys, you know? Am I angry about GJ? No, because there is no way practically I would have got an entry here anyways. That's just getting emotional for no reason, you know? That account was USD, guys. That guy with the .10s, he was holding those trades since March 2020. Those trades I just showed you, man, that's not ZAR or fucking, that's USD, guys. That guy in drawdown who sent me like, please help. This guy, where the fuck is he? This guy. This is US dollars, yo. These trade. Look at the price difference. These trades he was hold. He's been holding this drawdown since March, 2020. March, April, May, June, July, August. And NZD USD's been bullish as fuck since then. You know what I mean? He's been holding those sells. It's not like ZAR or like a different currency. It's legit USD. You can't see the dates, but you could tell from the price. Like if you go check the last time NZD USD was at 0.664. Let's go check at that. All right, keep that number in mind. 0.664. Let's see when the last time it was at 0.664. All right, fam. The 0.664. That's fucking October 2020. He's been holding sells since here. 0.664 was the last time. 0.662. 0.65 actually. Earlier. 0.65 is even fucking earlier. What the fuck? This guy was holding it since fucking September. This guy was holding NZD USD losses since September and still holding it to this day. To this day, still holding it. Crazy, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why my Pacific Union live account with MetaTrader 4, the fucking live tag disappeared. The tags disappeared with Pacific Union. I would recommend MT5, but there was only MT4 when I first signed up with Pacific Union. But the tags disappeared. It doesn't say if it's demo or live. It only says it in the server name now. Yours too, Steezy? Anybody else? Anybody else who's using Pacific Union? Did your tags disappear on your phone mobile? Oh, on IC Markets as well? Oh, yeah, that was that guy. That was good. That was a good run. Someone else sent a picture of it too. Where did it go? Yeah, some people's tag is gone. Some people's tag is still there. Oh, true. Is there something with MetaTrader then? Like this is just from a month ago. Same broker, same server, everything. It was showing the tag and shit. You know what I mean? And now it just shows like the live server, but like no tag at all. Like doesn't show real tag or demo tag on MT4. But yeah, I missed that position. This account, it's close to 100. It's not at 100K yet, but it's close. Oh, I gotta clean up some of these alerts. Yeah, let's go over. Sorry, let's go over. Let's go over some US 30 analysis here. Yeah, that was a crazy long hold, right? With the no stop loss since October. It's longer than a year now. Holy shit. Oh, never mind. Not yet, not yet. I thought it was, I thought it was already October for some reason. It's almost a year. Imagine holding drawdown for a year, like, and imagine if that money, like, actually has value to them, because you don't know people's financial background or where they come from. $500 could be a shit ton of money to somebody, right? Obviously, that's a dumbass thing to do himself, but lower down the volume of your peep sound. Oh, you guys can hear the trading view alert still? You guys can hear these? Should be off. Oh shit, sorry about that. Let me turn those off. We're gonna look at US 30 and then Euro USD, and then we'll check out any potential entries to take on our other pairs as well. Why AUD USD so bullish? Because the US dollar is extremely bearish and weak. Right? This is the dollar here. It's extremely bearish and weak. And the Australian dollar has been extremely bullish. An example of this to show you the investor confidence in the Australian economy is looking at the Australian stock market index. You can see since the COVID crash, it has been extremely bullish. Since March, it's only been in this overall bullish market structure, right? So you have overall market optimism, economics, signs of economic recovery, vaccine headlines, and a specific example for Australia is that Australia is a part of the Asia Pac region, and it actually dealt with COVID before other countries, similar to China, right? And right now, the consumption and trading going on, like import export, mainly the exporting of metals from Australia to China, is crazy right now. China's consumption is crazy, and Australia's industrial export is really building up. So there's a lot of positives to the economic recovery alongside the Reserve Bank of Australia support for the Australian economy and Australian markets, right? Because of this, there's no reason for AUD USD to be bearish long term or higher time frame. There's no reason for investors to lose their confidence. There's no signs of like another pandemic to come or a war just yet. Everything's looking fairly optimistic. We know that some countries are still locked down, but all of that fear has been priced in and digested by investors, right? China doesn't want our wheat. Yeah, but if you guys didn't have China as a major trade partner, I really think Australia would have an extremely weak economy. I think their economy would be just heavily dependent on tourism because it wouldn't make sense for them to ship those metals like across halfway across the world and stuff like that. China's literally like right there, you know? And China's like a major global consumer. Yeah, all right. All right, so US 30 with those same concepts of market optimism, right? You can see that COVID crash when it initially hit the markets caused this massive south side move, very similar to like what happened in 2008, but it was the financial crash of 2008 that was the catalyst then. Here, history repeated itself as per the financial impact, except the catalyst this time was, of course, the pandemic markets and coronavirus. Ever since that crash, the short circuit breaker was hit at 19K, around 18 to 19K, where they stopped allowing any more short selling of the markets, and the feds engaged their money printer and started printing out more amounts of the US dollar and heavily inflating the markets, right? They started inflating the stock markets by buying ETFs. They started buying government bonds and corporate bonds. So that money was also just going back into the markets. And since then, we've had this continuous bullish market structure being printed technically, where we've only had highs printed. And at these highs, you get buyers exiting positions to create pullbacks, but nothing that has broken market structure. Now we're also coming to an area we've never even been before, where we're going to start to have to guesstimate where we're going to react at certain price points as we're at all-time record highs well past the coronavirus pandemic. The fucked up part is this is all artificial and due to the inject money injections in support of the central bank, and then obviously the governments and corporations following suit on that greed train and optimistic train. This is not a reflection of the US economy, because it doesn't make sense that all these small businesses and all these people lost their jobs and are still suffering and dependent on financial stimulus, but we are above pre-COVID numbers and at all-time highs, you know? So the market in that sense is the market is artificial in that sense. It's not organic, where if the market was organic, the stock market, listen to this, if the stock market was organic and followed the basic concepts of what makes a stock valuable in an economy strong, right? And there wasn't all this corruption and greed, then the stock market strength would depend on the performance of those collective companies in each sector. And if you have each sector, such as the industry, the health, the technology, et cetera, performing well, this is a direct correlation or a direct indicator of a healthy economy, because each of those corporations and those sectors are being graded on their performance, where that is not the case of valuations on stocks in the real world, right? There's a lot of corruption, greed, and other factors that can lead into the valuation of a stock. We've seen tons of stocks that are massively overvalued for no reason. Okay? So that is what I mean, that this market, even though this market is extremely bullish, it's not a direct reflection of the U.S. economy. Where an organic stock market, where you have all these different companies part of a sector and a part of this big machine of the US economy, if it was organic, it would show you the health of the US economy. You would see that the health sector is doing well, the industrial sector is performing well, the education sector is performing well, and then alongside your other economic data such as job information, consumer inflation, you can get a good reading of how the economy is going. But that's not how the financial markets work, right? So that would be how it worked if there was no corruption involved. But anyways, so because of that central bank support and that massive printing of the US dollars and injection into the US money markets, we've seen this continued bullish market structure and price break into these highs. So the only pullbacks we've had are once we reach significant new highs and we have buyers exit out positions and price come down to a demand area, which is usually a previous zone or a previous high point, right? Right now, the momentum is looking very strong for us to continue back up, especially if on the intraday the dollar continues bearish like how we wanted, right? GU, we didn't get any safe confirmed buys above that high point yet. It's just ranging between these 1 minute highs and lows. GJ is potentially going to give us that retest of 150 on this new 30-minute candle. So I want to see how we react at that 150 area above this price sensitivity point, if we can create a support and then continue back up. But remember, this hourly candle at London Open doesn't have an upper wick, or sorry, doesn't have a lower wick. So we could dig a bit deeper, create that lower wick, and then come back above 150. So let's watch the reaction accordingly and see if we create a support around that area. Gold is starting to create a bit of a flat candle body support at 1789. If you get bullish candle closures above here, there's going to be a bigger bounce. So if you're holding sells from the 1795 point we're talking about, just be mindful of that. This was a good range to range trade to take. Anybody still hold those gold sells or take those gold sells from the start of the webinar? That was pretty clean. Yeah, reacting to 150 on the dot. Why this guy keep timing out with lead? He's just saying regular information. Yeah, here's that hourly candle making its lower wick now, right? It just made a very small wick there quickly, but this is pretty indecisive the last 2 hours. If this hourly candle closes like this, fucking dual-ended dildo right there. All right, but let's go back to the US 30 now. So these are just some of the levels we've been watching. Obviously, what I would like is a retest of this support and consolidation zone that we broke above. Remember, the market can, while it's trending bullish, the market can only generate liquidity in two fashions: either push price down to a better demand area for buyers to jump in with the overall trend after peaking new highs, or having a consolidation phase, which we had up here. So I don't really want to buy at this high, and US 30 is a bit too difficult to guess tops. I would personally rather wait for a pullback to 31,700 to retest this order block and then continue buys right back up. I don't really see anything too favorable with US 30 at current price positioning. Audi is looking pretty messy here as well at these new highs, but that would be the cleanest intraday trade if we could get a pullback to 31,700 even for the new monthly candle and then go back up. Nasdaq, I don't really look at S&P 500 or Nasdaq because the structure is very similar to US 30. I personally just trade US 30. But if you understand like the fundamental impact on US equities as a whole is the same, and the structure is pretty similar. Obviously, the price action can be a bit different on the lower time frames, but the overall market structure of like US 30 or S&P 500 or the Nasdaq is pretty much the same. GBP ZAR, never traded that pair, sorry. You're a fool for thinking it's going to 31,700. I just said I would take buys if it retested 31,700. Jeez, bro, relax. Guy's fucking angry. I just said I don't want to buy at the top here. I would rather get that pullback to retest this order block, especially with the new monthly candle, to continue back up. Because you know what I mean? I might be a fool, but pullbacks happen. Pullbacks are a normal thing. You know, pretty normal thing in the market that once you reach highs or you're trending, eventually people are going to want to cash out. So when they cash out of the market, this creates a pullback. I thought I'd speak a little bit extra slow for you. that basic concept goes over a lot of people's heads who trade the financial markets every day. They don't understand that people are eventually going to cash out. Nothing goes up forever, nothing goes down forever. So if we were to see a pullback or even a downside move just that size, oh, what do you know? That would fill the retest to 31,700. Yeah, GJ, the new 30-minute candles right now, right? So don't rush any buys yet on GJ. This isn't the cleanest price action yet, and I want to see how this new 30-minute candle is going to open up here, because this is a pretty shitty 30-minute candle close with that hard rejection wick and price closing like right below these candle bodies still. Yeah, it's a pretty shitty 30-minute candle close. Like a really shitty close right there, actually. So I would really need price to, even if it comes down to grab some liquidity, show us some more defined support. So if we could break above this bearish candle here, I would look for buys from about 150.05 up to 150.2. Otherwise, with how that 30-minute candle just closed extremely weak with that rejection wick, GJ could very well just range right back down in this range that it's been playing in. You know, so I really need to see a flat candle body support formed here and price break above that bearish candle up there to show me a buy squeeze scalp back to these highs at 150.200 ppl. Higher risk would be if we just create a support here and create a bit of an order block. Otherwise, that was a really shitty 30-minute candle close when you look here. Right? And what I like to look at is where the actual candle bodies are closing. And this candle body itself closed back in this range. Even if it was by a bit, it still closed back above, below the previous high, sorry. You know what I mean? So we really need that support form there, and then I'd be more comfortable taking buy scalps back up. No, gold's still good. Gold looks like it's going to dig deeper. We might get some more entries at an impulsive break below 1789 or a break and retest below 1789. That 30-minute candle closed nice and bearish, right? So this is looking good. We had a nice that hourly candle close without that upper wick showing seller order flow. We had the break and retest below 1795. A nice bearish 30-minute candle close on that previous 30. The next set of sells would be if we can break below 1789 now. You know, other than that, we're gonna just watch accordingly the price action. In 1789, we'd want to at least start targeting these previous lows at around 1784 and then the following key level. But that's only going to be if on the 1 minute we can actually start to get some clean bearish candles below 1789. And it's dependent on your risk threshold if you want to take the breakout entry or if you want to take the breakout and retest. I personally like to wait for the breakout and retest, like something like, even like, you know, some people feel like you missed this and like, oh, I missed the move, but then you do get the retest, right? On the, especially on the lower time frames. So how's the dollar moving overnight? And these headlines, we don't have too many headlines, to be honest, overnight. Pretty quiet night besides that quick little GJ impulsive move and that gold sell. That gold sell though was clean at the start. Dollar, I want dollar to continue down. Australian dollar continuing bullish. Japanese yen pretty flat. Global stock market's pretty bullish still across the board here. I'm just gonna go fill up my water bottle quick. GU's just ranging. We're not touching GU buys unless we break above 1.47, 1.417. And once we get those safe confirms of breaking out of this corrective bear structure and running with the continued higher time frame buys, that's an easy 40 pip range to revisit the previous highs. The Canadian and Australian housing market is heavily inflated by China. Actual working class Australians and Canadians cannot afford the houses in Canada or Australia. But all of those houses are being kept up due to the foreign investment and demand from Chinese millionaires and billionaires. You got to understand, China has more millionaires and billionaires than Canada has people. So that's a lot of fucking buying power. Canada has 30 million people total, probably only 15 million working Canadians, probably only 5 million that have a house purchased, you know what I mean? That under their name, right? The only reason the house prices are kept up is because of supply and demand. So somebody is still buying up the supply of homes and keeping that demand hot. And who is funneling their money into these countries and taking over these countries from an economic standpoint? China. Because guess what? China is an economic powerhouse. They're a populated powerhouse, but their land mass is getting destroyed. The Chinese land is getting heavily polluted and absolutely destroyed, and they're gonna eventually gonna have to start moving around somewhere. And they're gonna come to big ass empty Canada. They're gonna go to parts of Africa. They're gonna go to Australia, and they're already setting up the economic roots and foundation in each of these countries because our governments have already been selling us off to China without telling us. Most of Canadian gold and oil, guess who it's owned by? Most of the uninhibited land in Canada, guess who it's owned by? Guess who's gonna take it over, right? So, because you have this demand being consumed and heavily kept up by China and these house prices, a Chinese millionaire billionaire in Beijing does not give a fuck about throwing 50 million and buying a whole street in Vancouver. There's literally whole streets in Vancouver or in Canada that are empty, and this has a ripple effect on that infrastructure in that country, right? So unless our governments of our respected countries, such as Australia and China, add heavy restrictions on foreign investment in real estate and regulate that market, then that is the only way house prices will drop to meet the demand prices that the actual citizens can afford. Does that make sense? But because right now the citizens can't afford those prices at that demand area for these houses, but the Chinese foreign investors can, no problem. So our governments of Australia and Canada um, would need to regulate that. You know, gold don't break below 1789 just yet. Still watching the price action accordingly. GJ, nice little support at 150 for that little retest scalp. If anybody took that quick scalp, but still, we're rejecting at these previous highs. So just watch your risk accordingly and be fairly in and out. But I liked how it held that flat candle's body support at 150, even above 0.5 gave a quick 8 to 10 pips. But hopefully we can continue up to target 0.200. Just don't take a loss as you're scalping and watch your risk accordingly, you know? Yeah, but didn't you like this? Right at 150? And obviously we have price sensitivity where we rejected here before. Gold, let's see after this pullback if we have sellers jump in to break 1789 or if we retest 1795 again, but still in that sell bias for gold if you guys watch the analysis at the start. GBP USD, we're only taking those buys above 1.417. I still take, even when I take any swing trades or intraday trades, I still take my entries on the 1 minute time frame to see price action the fastest and the most refined at significant price points, right? Alex G, Send us your results with this less stress, less risk trading. We can learn from you. Give us some tips. Belt and Road Initiative. China just making more transport routes and all that shit. I know you're not a scalper. I want to see like the trades you're taking with like the style you're talking about, like the actual trades. You know, the orders. A lot of people talk, but can a lot of people show? Yeah, gold, the next set of sells will only be below 1789, or if we were to retest like 95 again. But it looks like we're starting to create a bit of a flat candle body support at this key level here. You know what I mean? So if you're still in those sells, just watch your price action accordingly. Hopefully you bag some positions. And I'm only going to take like any other entry if you were to break below 1789, you know? GJ still messing around. GJ messing around hard. That quick new 5-minute candle. But same rejections at these same previous 1-minute price points. I would have liked to tap 0.200 on the dot, but it's still active if you're holding it. Euro USD we didn't get to look at yet. US 30 I didn't want to touch at these highs. Looks like US 30 starting to give us that bit of a pullback. That's why I didn't want to buy at these highs, but I also am too much of a pussy to sell the US stock market. So fuck that. Not trying to be a hero. When you try to be a hero, your account goes to 0. You know? So don't try to be a hero in the markets. What do you do if you accidentally entered a lot size that was too big? Close it as soon as you notice it, if you can. You know? Let's zoom in a bit more here. It would be if we could break below 1789 here. I think we're gonna get these impulsive sells. When's this hourly candle closing? 19 minutes. If we can get a nice candle closure below. Yo. Oh yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting about Euro USD. Okay. Again, explain this again. Risk currency against a safe haven currency. So the US dollar has been extremely bearish. Our safe haven currencies like the euro have been extremely bullish. Yeah, I forgot to fill my water bottle too. My mouth is so dry right now. Right? Overall, bullish market structure. We've only had highs printed in either consolidation phases or pullbacks. Right? So what I am seeing on EU in the higher time frame now is us to revisit these previous highs right back up to 1.234. All right, gold didn't close below 1789 yet. Wow, no, what a weak candle close. So gold's still teasing us. I wanted a nice bearish candle close below the key level, but this was only 3 pips below the key level. And then obviously you have this bullish candle right after. So let's be patient, waiting for these gold sells. What I was looking for was a nice bearish candle, a pullback, and a continuation down. Or even something like this, where you get the impulsive sell first, and then we play around, pullback, and continuation down. Alex G, you're not going to give away your secrets. Bro, you just have nothing to show. You just came to talk in a YouTube chat and try to brag with other random strangers, but nobody believes you because you got nothing to show. Now you're saying, I'm not going to show you because I don't want to give my trading strategy. It's too valuable, as you came to watch my stream. You know what I mean? So Nobody fucking believes you. You can keep typing away, but understand as you keep typing away and bragging about what you're doing, you have zero respect and zero attention, and nobody cares. You know, so just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. The institutional, yeah, must be some institutional candles. See how the YouTube chat. Nobody cares, but some people chat asking you. No, actually, people are saying Alex G, fuck off. Actually, is what I'm reading right now. Right? Yeah, get him. Chat, get him. Chat. Refugees, get him. He thinks you guys want his secrets. Personally, I just rely on the Icon News terminal just because it's gonna give the news as fast as possible, similar to like a Bloomberg terminal. When I first started trading, I was using as many free resources as I could: Forex Live, Investing.com, Bloomberg, right? So I was reading a lot of articles across those various websites when I first started and didn't have like a news terminal. Alex, nobody likes. Yeah, we're seeing a flat candle body support formed here. Honestly, it looks like we're gonna get a deeper pullback on gold here with the new hourly candle back up to 1795 because we wanted the bearish candle close below. It only went 2 pips, then price snapped back, and we're still respecting the support above the key level. So no secondary sell entries yet. The first impulse sells and the retest sells ran good down the range, but nothing else to add on to it yet. It looks like we're gonna actually get like a buy bounce here, or a pullback for the new hourly candle, a new 15-minute candle, you know? Damn, Alex G getting fucking roasted in the chat. Poor guy. Poor guy came here to sound cool and, like, you know what I mean? Make some friends. Be with the community. GJ, we're in GJ buys from 150. We're looking to target 150.200. All I said was with how the volume and volatility is slow, just to watch your risk accordingly, you know? I don't have any signals. I think you got people mixed up. This guy's so angry because everybody doesn't want to talk to him. This guy's so angry. Why are you mad that I exposed the truth that you don't have any trading results, you don't have an effective strategy, you just came to talk to people, you know, you're just lonely, you're alone in your room, you're lonely, you're sad, you wanted some entertainment, you wanted to be fucking talking to people, you wanted some company. You know that would be here for you. You know? Breakfast. Yes, let's see what you sent here. And somebody else sent something. I'm check that out right now. Pretty slow London session so far. Not much going on. Just some Reserve Bank of India stuff. Usual stuff. I don't block. I don't block or ban anybody. I don't want to lead somebody to a suicide. Sometimes this stream might be all somebody has, you know? So if I ban them, I don't want them to end their life. This guy for real mad for me saying I'm not a scalper? No, you said you had a great, effective, low risk, low stress, higher time frame strategy that's gotten you great results. So everybody asked to see those results. Then when you got called out to see those results or to see anything, you said, "Nah, I can't do it. Sorry, man." So it's super top secret. So like then you present yourself like a fucking retard. So you're gonna get roasted like a retard. You know what I mean? What are you, like a 5-year-old kid? Nah, man, super top secret. Can't show you guys. Sorry. This is my toy. Like, what are you, fucking retarded? So that's how you came. That's how you came to the chat. That's how everybody asked you to see something, and then you told them it's super secret. It's my super secret strategy. I'm not gonna give away my secrets. What the fuck? What are you, fucking 7? Yeah, what are you, Iron Man's child? That was a good one, Alvarez. Credit to Alvarez for that one. Okay, let's check this chart out. Very nice, quick GJ scalp you got. I don't know how you got that impulsive entry, but I'm glad you caught it. SPX, very nice structure on the SPX. What are you looking for? Are you just trying to show me your analysis and structure, or are you looking, or like, are you trying to show a buy you're gonna take? I think he left, or I think he's just gonna be quiet now. You know, guy's in his feelings. Yeah, obviously very similar to what we're talking about. Oh, Alvera, send it again. Send it again right now. I'll open it right now. Nine minutes till the new 9 minutes to the new hourly candles. I think we're gonna get it. I feel like gold is gonna do an impulsive melt. Like, not like as soon as we get the break below 1789, there's gonna be a couple of 1 minute candles like slowly creeping down, then a melt, then then an aggressive pullback, then another melt. Watch until Asian close. You're gonna see it with the new hourly candle into Asian close. And if I do that, you guys gotta call me the GOAT then, all right? Even though I already called the 1795 style for you guys. All right, I'm gonna go through everybody's charts right now. First, Alvarez. What do we got here? God damn, bro. What the fuck? You trying to give me a seizure? What kind of color coordination is this, bro? This is the ugliest color combination I ever seen in my life. Man's got brown, yellow, green, red lines. What kind of... fucking guys, like, I feel like I just entered like Project MK Ultra, like I'm getting fucking hypnotized or some shit right now. This guy's fucking manipulating me. Anyways, yeah, this is still very bullish. We might get a deeper pullback to your 7-6 flat level, I think. You know what I mean? I'd be looking at where you're, because that was the most last recent significant high. See, this was a significant high. From here, we had this pullback to this demand area, and now we've created this new high here. So if we were to get a more aggressive pullback, I think we would go to like 7-6. But then, yeah, same idea. Still very bullish, looking to revisit these highs, unless we have something shift the market structure, you know? I like it. I like it. Hurt my eyes, though. It actually made me nauseous. What the fuck? This guy's chart made me fucking gave me nausea. Stomach's turning. The fuck? My head feels fuzzy. What was that on FOREX? Okay, GJ, you're still in it? Yeah, I would like to target 0.200. Nice job you got on the retest here. Just the only thing I'm being cautious about is that the new hourly candle, guys. The new hourly candle in 6 minutes, all right? Go to the higher time frames like the actual professional traders. Go to the higher time frames. Go to the higher time frames like the actual professional traders. Let's see this analysis here.
GBPJPY.
What time frame is this? This is the
as
yearly
we are starting
time
a
frame.
new year, of course, we are going to be
So
doing
this is the yearly time frame on GJ.
When looking at this higher
we're doing
time
analysis, right?
You can see that we
this is still the yearly time frame. What's this? Starting to call upside up to 150 for swing trades.
Up to retest
okay,
some
so we're going to the yearly time frame on this GJ fundamental and technical analysis from January 11th.
But as of higher time frame,
what's this now? The 3-month time frame, yearly time frame to the 3-month time frame being respected. Higher time frame. Order. Oh, what's this? The monthly time frame calling buys from 142 to 150. Oh, okay. Yearly time frame to 3-month time frame to monthly time frame. Economics, fundamental crash, and now the have mapped out. Oh, what's this now? The 4-hour time frame on, but we are also an order block. Upside, but hopefully that makes sense. But I'm just going to continue labeling. What's this? What's this? Pullbacks to 137, buys up to 144, buys up to 145 from January 11th, from the yearly chart down to the 4-hour chart from January 11th. What's that? What's this? What does this say here? This is from January 11th, a full fundamental and technical breakdown for anybody in capital hungry and anybody for free to take buys on GJ from 140 up to 144, 400 pips. Or to take buys from the pullback to 138 or 137.2 up to 144. So what do you guys talk about? Higher time frame? What are you talking about? Fam, I'm the fucking elite. In the retail industry, to you guys, I'm an elite. So sorry about that. Sometimes you gotta get told, you know. Man's talking about higher time frame. You don't even have the TradingView membership to look at a yearly chart. Guys, relax. It's the new hourly candle, man. Remember I told you guys, relax. New hourly candle in 3 minutes. We still have the new hourly candle. Don't rush it. Do not rush it. Oh, GJ, 0.200. Round of applause, everybody. Target hit, 0.200. GJ buys that we called. Nice little break and retest from 150. And guess what? I keep proving you wrong with either live analysis, trades, my trade progress, my analysis beforehand, higher time frames, swing trades, scalp trades. And guess what? You came here to watch me and you can't show anything. And GJ's running for these guys. Everybody's happy with me. These guys love me. Guys, everybody, Alex just called everybody 10 pip losers. Let's count this, Alex. This is actually 26 pips right now from the 150 retest, actually. Sorry about that, buddy. The gold sells from 1795. We called at the start of the webinar, and people are still in. Let's see. Is this 10 pips? Let's count. This is 60 pips. This is 60 pips, my friend. This is 60 pips. You know? I think anybody would love to be in my situation. Oh, guys, GG. Oh, wait. This is 30 pips now. Alex fucking punching the air right now. Alex punching the fucking air right now. Alex was telling everybody to sell GJ at the start from his higher time frame resistance. So he's punching the air right now. Oh man. You guys are funny. I love you guys, you know? I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle, alright? I'll be back in a second here. Damn. Who's still in GJ? If you guys caught GJ, W's in the chat. Also, GU's coming to our potential buy squeeze area as well. Keep an eye on GU. Keep an eye on GU. That's from this website AR called Iconic with a K in it. You be calling out 10 trades and 2 goes into profit. Well, only 2 of them played out. We called gold sells and we called GJ buys. GU buys didn't set up yet. EU, we didn't say anything. It sounds like somebody sold GJ. Sounds like we got some salty mans who sold GJ. RIP in the chat for Alex and the GJ sellers. Alex G. The G stands for GJ seller. Alex G. Alex GBPJPY seller. Man just sent us some chart right now, 40 minutes later. Like, we want to see your TradingView chart. Jeez, man. I like you guys. All right, new hourly candles, everybody. Let's see how these hourly candles closed. What we can see on gold is we rejected breaking below 1789, but we're still very bearish. All right, so those same trade ideas still stand, that we need that break below 1789. That might come at pre-New York and New York hours, you know? Damn, this guy really tapping Control V hard as fuck on his keyboard right now. Everybody imagine this guy spamming Control V. Why you fucking why you tapping Man's like this. Control V, Control V, Control V. Like, fucking relax, dude. Take it easy, dude. Yeah, that's why I said I'm only waiting for GJ pullbacks and buys. And we were waiting for the gold sells, but the 1795 sells played out really good. We called out 10 trades. What 10 trades do we call out? Somebody wanna clue me in on that? I called out 10 trades? What the fuck? We didn't even look at 10 pairs. I didn't even look at EU or UCAD or US 30 for any trades. We only looked at GU. We only looked at gold and GJ tonight. Why are you guys so angry that I help people? What the fuck? Holy. Is it the confidence I radiate? Might be. Imagine if you saw me on camera too smiling as well, you'd be fucking even more angry. Remember some guys like, man, US 30's not going to 31,700. Man, watch it go there during New York. Holy, GJ almost went to that higher time frame target we wanted. Oh man. Okay, let's go gold. New hourly candle. Let's get this melt. I don't want to jinx it. I just jinxed it hard probably. I like, you know what I do like is this little order block is still respecting this corrective bear structure. So we just need to validate that sell side liquidity from this order block and have the break to the downside. You know? Right now, it just keeps bouncing off fucking 1789, man. Oh my god. That's actually pissing me off a little bit. I don't know why. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, okay. Who saw that flash for a second? Was that just me? Yeah, if you guys want to send any TradingView charts, just let me know. Just send them in the chat. GJ was lit. GU still rejected the buy area, so we need a support or break above 417. GJ, we might get more buys on GJ at a retest of 0.200 now to go up to 0.500. All right. But this was pretty textbook. That's why I said don't have FOMO when we had that initial impulsive move and breakout to the upside. Yo, Alex, you gonna show anybody a trade or anything like that yet? Or yeah, you got nothing to show. Monty's here? No way. Not the old feller. Oh snap! This guy never gives a chance for me to This guy never gives a chance for me to raid him. He always comes and raids us first. Yeah, gold don't sell until we have clean candle closures below 1789 here. Too much bouncing here. GJ, we can possibly get another retest entry at 0.200. GU above 417. We'll take those buys. Euro USD, we didn't really pay too much attention to. Actually, Euro USD could give some nice squeeze buys at another retest of the key level 2-2. If we retest here, continue back up into Asian session close. What's up, Monty? How you doing? I know guys watching me, but pretending. Oh, there he is. There he is. You guys catch those GJ buys? We didn't get to catch this deep retest here at 0.800 because that was pretty aggressive. And then if you're watching, obviously London Open just did that instant push up. You know what I mean? But we finally got that retest to 150 flat, which gave that nice scalp to the upside. So this was a pretty aggressive pullback we didn't get to execute on. This we didn't get to execute on because London Open just fucking looked like it was going to go straight to the moon, but that hourly candle didn't have a lower wick, and then we got the retest though. Yeah, everybody make sure to check out Monty's channel as well. Monty the Legend gave out amazing analysis. I bet he did. What about gold sells? You guys catch? And the other trade we called and caught were the gold sells, 1795 down to the next range. Monty has boxing videos? From when? When cameras were first coming out? Like 1888? 1890? Max and my father's here? No, gold didn't break below yet for further sells, you know? So we're not touching any more gold sells yet unless we have a clean break. Yeah, Monty's first order in the market was a letter that he attached to a pigeon, and they had to fly into the London Square that said he wants to buy one share of Barclays Bank. That was the first order. That was the first buy order into the London markets by pigeon mail delivery. Yeah, they got his order wrong as well. They didn't give him the full order he wanted. You know, they didn't pay him out properly. They didn't pay him all the gold and silver coins he was promised. I was just kidding, man. I love Monty. Everybody, make sure right now to go check out Monty's channel. You know, come here, go to the channel, subscribe. Even me too here. Turn on the post notifications. I even forgot about this on my own channel that this thing exists. You know, go send his video some likes. Make sure you check the man out. Man was paid in seeds and beans. Man was the first GJ buyer for a sack of rice. The first GJ position for a 5-pound sack of rice. All right, guys, let's see what's going on here. Obviously, we're not rushing the gold sells below 1789 because we haven't had that clean break yet. We're just starting to create a bit of a lower time frame support here. The 1795 sells ran great, and this is still respecting that corrective bearish market structure we've been watching on the lower time frame. We just need to validate this as seller side liquidity and get a break below these 1-minute lows. Otherwise, it does look like we're just going to end up, if we break above these candle body highs, we will squeeze right back up to 1795. We're just starting to enter a bit of a consolidation zone on the lower time frame here. GJ starting to give us that retest of 150.200 psychological price level. If we create a support here, we can get some more scalps to the upside. But if you already caught GJ buys from London Open or that retest up anywhere from 10 to 40 pips, or if you caught those gold sells, I would suggest you don't take any more positions or overtrade. And GU, we're only taking buys if we come above 1.417 and we break this minor corrective bearish market structure, as we are starting to show some more buyers pressure with the US dollar still being relatively flat standalone. So when the US dollar is relatively flat standalone, it's showing us that more money is coming out of the safe haven currencies and it's going into the risk assets. So we can notice that when our global stock markets are still pretty bullish across the board, and our safe haven currencies like the Japanese yen or the US dollar are bearish, right? So if we can have this continued bearish push on the US dollar and GU break above this 1-minute high point and lower high point and break this bearish structure, there's a nice squeeze up on GU to revisit those previous highs and that higher time frame key level, which is like anywhere from a scalp position to a 50 pip intraday trade, right? And then GJ, I would like to continue to target 150.500. Gold, we're just watching it range now. We're only taking further sells if we break these candle body lows and come below 1789. Other than that, we're coming towards Asian session close in the next 45 minutes and new 4-hour candles. Like the entire Asian markets close, like India's last to close. And then we're going to see what can set up for pre-New York. Until then, it's best that you guys just send any charts or analysis you want me to look at, and I'll look over that now, you know? What the fuck did I fuck up here? Okay, something about blockchain planet. That code isn't working. It's saying access denied. Unless I'm a retard. I think your page might be private or something. Yeah, if anybody else wants to send any charts, yeah, sure. Mr. Varma. Blockchain Planet, I don't know if your profile on TradingView is private or something. Here, yeah, let me check this one. Nah, still does. That link still doesn't work. What I consider gold buys, there is the potential for the bounce buys back up to 1795, but other than that, I would only be looking for gold buys if we could have a clean break out of this corrective bear structure, because we've been looking at this, right? We've been looking for this repeat. Remember, gold overall bearish market structure. I know with all the lines and key levels it's hard to see, so I'm just going to clean that up for right now and keep it simple with the magic yellow lines. So gold, ever since it peaked those 2075 highs, we've been respecting this bearish market structure. But whenever we have these very strong lows created, you can see that we have these pullbacks to retest market structure, and for an extended period of almost a week, gold buyers are in control, right? Until we go to retest those lower high points and fail to break, and sellers jump back into the market. So pretty much what you can see here is essentially what I'm looking to happen here. And we can see very similar price action from this low that was created. Sellers started to cash out positions and buyers jumped in, creating this bullish structure and corrective phase. There was not enough buyer order flow in the market or fundamental market fear to increase gold's demand as a safe haven or to break this bearish market structure. So you have this consolidation created similar to here. Then you break that bullish market structure on the lower time frames and start to get your impulsive sell moves. So when you zoom in here and you look at what happened here, you can see something similar. These yellow lines would be the lower time frame bullish market structure you'd be watching on like the 1 minute, 5 minute, etc., right? And you can see that that is corrective structure after having a bounce from a new low being created, because at that new low, sellers exit the market and buyers jump in accordingly. Okay? There is not enough order flow to break the higher time frame corrective bear structure that gold has been in. And then you start to get a break of that bullish structure, consolidation zone or pullback, and continuation down to revisit that low. We're starting to see this phase here. And what we want is that next continuation down to revisit these lows. Because we already identified that we were in this phase, that we couldn't break this bearish structure, that we had this consolidation and liquidity, and that we broke that lower time frame bullish structure over London, we took advantage of those sell plays that ran down the ranges. Does that make sense? So now we can see that we're respecting some minor bearish market structure here, but what I'm looking to do is come below 1789 for more sells and start to revisit these lows and go continue down to revisit these previous lows at 1760s, etc. Right? Oh, GU's coming above our buy zone as well. It just gave a breakout entry right now. Not the cleanest confirms just yet. I would like a retest and support formed, and we can start riding those GU buys up. And also that retest of 0.200 was fucking sexy again too, on the dot. You know what I mean? That's another 10, that's 20 pips up from there, actually. Almost 15 pips there. So if you guys got to catch any of that, I only help you guys make money, you know? Does anybody want to buy Capital Hungry's Google Drive or Vimeo? You have them all screen recorded. I doubt that. That's a lot of that's a lot of videos to screen record. That's like 400 videos to screen record. It's a shit ton. I really doubt that. Alex, that guy left. Yeah, I really doubt that would take you like months to screen record all of the webinars I've ever made in Capital Hungry. There's over 400 of them. So, you know, it's a lot of shit to screen record. So I feel like he's gonna scam you guys because there's no way somebody screen recorded 400 webinars. That's a lot. All right. Yeah, see how it's still respecting that lower time frame bear structure? This is looking a bit better now in GU as well. Let's clean this up. I haven't filled my water bottle yet, man. My mouth is so dry from talking for hours straight. Holy. All right, one sec. I'll be back in a second, everybody. Hopefully you guys got to catch at least the gold sells at the start of the webinar, or the GJ buys from 150, or the scalps from 150.2. And if you did, make sure to send a like and subscribe. Follow all of the Capital Hungry resources like the news Twitter. Subscribe to this YouTube, the free Telegram analysis channel. Make sure you up your knowledge, up your value game, you know? You could always re-watch this stream for the full analysis ahead of time about the GJ buy bias, the gold sell bias, and the reasoning why. And if you guys catch a scalp on these, make sure you secure some partials at a scalp. Let your runners run risk-free. Watch price action accordingly. We have about 9 minutes till a 30-minute candle close, and then 40 minutes until Asian markets close, and we're coming to pre-New York hours. You know, so I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to fill up my water bottle. All right, what's going on here? Gold. Gold still fucking around at 1789. New 30-minute. I'm sorry, these 30-minute candles are closing in 1 minute here. I would still like it to come below 1789 if we could close below. Still looking pretty nice, but other than that, it's just messing around, ranging pretty hard here for a while. And especially as we're coming towards like the new 4-hour candles, best just to wait for like pre-New York hours. It looks like it's just going to keep ranging. GJ starting to slow down a bit as well at these previous highs. GBPUSD doesn't look as clean as well. It's not really holding above the buy level. Best to stay out of that for now too. Yeah, let's just watch these markets for the next like 20 minutes until Asian session close, and then we'll wrap this up. If anybody wants to send any charts until then, we'll check it out. How the 30-minute at least closed bearish on gold, right? So if it can actually have some clean melts below 1789, then it's good. But my expectations aren't too high. I feel like right at Asian session close, it's gonna do like an 80 pip 1 minute candle. Watch. I have a feeling about that. Or it's just gonna keep ranging. The gold sells from 1795 were good, and then pretty much the last hour we just started to range and create a support at 1789. You know, haven't done much since then. It looks like we're still going to keep ranging at 1789 here. Electric went out. What happened? Yeah, it's just ranging, right? It just keeps ranging in this little zone here above the order block, but it looks like it's going to do a deeper retest with the new 4-hour candle. So the price sensitivity and support here was too much to fight. No, I didn't get to take any trade. I took some trades yesterday, made some good money, like AK USD yesterday. I didn't get to catch anything today. I was more like explaining the analysis, answering questions, you know, everything else along those lines. I bet. Yeah, it was just a couple of the GJ buy scalps pretty much. And I took a couple of losses trying to sell gold early, then gold fell like later on during New York. I'm getting sleepy now too. I think I'm gonna be wrapping this up soon, guys. It's been a few hours now. I just noticed. Oh. All right, everybody. Holy. All right, everybody. I'm gonna call it a night. It was a pretty good session with the first initial gold sells and then the GJ buys. Other than that, not much else happened. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'll see everybody next week. See you guys later.